Okay, this is another little box working. I have something similar on the channel a few weeks back, maybe, I'm not sure, months back, with regards to money. So we're drawing in money, and I have to say that if you're going to do something like this, you need to have an outlet for the money to come through, if you know what I mean. There's no point doing this sort of working and being unemployed unless you're doing some sort of lottery, but then you have to understand that the odds are stacked against you when you do lotteries and stuff. Yeah, even magicians do lotteries, and they're working it. And to me, that just makes the odds go up higher. But at the end of the day, someone's got to win it. So, and the art of positive thinking is another thing that will help. So that's just food for thought. So it's the hour of Jupiter, and it's a Thursday night, and I've just drawn a bit free-handy the symbol for Jupiter, and I'm going to stick that on the little box with honey. I like to use honey because it's sweet, obviously. And inside the box, I like to use these boxes. You could use a jar, because every once in a while I'll open the box and I'll put some coins in, and to me that is growing the money. I use these boxes all the time for myself. I've been using them for years, in all honesty. I read somewhere, I don't know who the author is, but he basically did something similar to this, and I thought it was a brilliant idea. Author of the book, it's a long time ago and I don't remember the author of the book, so if anyone has an inkling who it might be, please let me know and I'll put credit where credit's due. But also, anyway, I have the client's photograph in here. I have also got some basil, bay leaves, money powder. So the photograph is on top of that. Let me see what else. 5-finger grass, Irish moss. That's all underneath the photograph. And you could call, there's a plethora of spirits that you could call with regards to money. For instance, let's say you've got a very, very urgent bill. You could call on St. Expedite. So I find St. Expedite to be a wonderful, fast-working spirit for small bills and things like that. St. Expedite has helped me immensely over the years, and I'm so grateful to him. I should say that. So you could always put it to St. Expedite. You don't need a statue. I don't have a statue. I need to get a statue. There is a lovely person in the comments that gave me a link, and I hope the statue is still there. Because in the UK, it's really difficult to get statues of the saints and stuff like that. I really would need to go and purchase that statue. And thank you once again for pointing the statue out to me. But yes, we're calling on Boone, and I've got the seal of Boone here, and I have opened the seal. I dropped down into like a meditative state, and I drew over it in pen whilst making the petition. I also wrote the petition on the back, and I also called forward Clonic. Clonic is, again, excellent for money, and Clonic, now this is just in my opinion, Clonic doesn't really care about where the money comes from, but Clonic will honor, he's, in my opinion, he's very good. Other people may disagree with that, but I find Clonic, he'll give you the money. He doesn't really care where it comes from. So, but with Boone, I think with both these spirits, you need to be very to the point as to what you want, and you need to say with harm to none. I've covered this in other videos where you could inherit that set amount via, you could lose a leg in a road accident and be compensated. You don't want that. You don't want to lose a loved one and have an insurance policy paid out and stuff like that. Sometimes these spirits need to be fine-tuned. So it's important that you do that, because magic will take the road of least resistance. So, and if that means taking your leg off, so be it. So please, please, please be accurate when you're writing a petition. So the client does have a very, he has a plan. He wants to earn an extra $2,000 a month through, job promotion is probably the most obvious source in this instance. And by the end of the year, go out and purchase a car. But you need to give yourself a bit of time, because these things do take time. So if you're going to set a goal for yourself, give it some time. And he also wants to buy a car, like I said, and a house. So set yourself a realistic goal, and inside the box, if you have a photograph of the house you have your eye on or something similar, or the car, put that all into the box. I don't have those items, but I have put it on the petition, if you know what I mean. It just creates a more you're going to draw everything more accurately to yourself. Also, I'm a great believer in journaling. If you're not into journaling, you don't have to be. You can a sketchbook, a notepad, whatever you call them, and just every other day take a pen and write down. What I like to do is I put it in the future tense. So, for instance, if I was in the position of this person, I would write, I have an extra $2,000 coming in per month. I have been promoted. I have just bought a new car. It is and then name the model of the car. I've purchased a new house. You could go into details. If you go into fine details, it has 2 bathrooms, 4 bedrooms, an acre of land. Do that every few days. Reinforce it. Live it, if you know what I mean. You can actually bring the senses into it and say, I'm really happy living in my new home. It brings me great pleasure. That sort of thing. The $2,000 extra a month is really helping me with my bills and stuff. And then, when you get what you want, set the bar higher again, if you know what I mean. And that's how you climb, in my opinion. I'm quite an easygoing person, and I'm not really money orientated, but that's how you would do it, in my opinion, if you want money. With regards to, say, this channel's growth, if I wanted to grow this channel, which I don't really care about growing, in all honesty, because I like the fact this channel is kind of small. I don't really want this channel to grow into 100k. It never will, but let's just say if I did want that to happen, I could note that all down on a piece of paper. My channel is doing so well now. I have 100,000 subscribers. Do you know what I mean? It's really just noting down in the present tense what you have, and being thankful to the universe for that. It's the law of attraction, in a nutshell. But anyway, moving on. So I've got his photograph in here, and I'm going to put some bits and pieces on top of the photograph. Just again, like I said, a lot of this is just money orientated. I'm going to put a bit of cinnamon in there. Cinnamon is very good for kickstarting things. I'm going to flip that picture around because it's just I didn't want it to be seen. Okay, all right. We need communication oil because we want to open up communication with regards to his workplace. We're going to get some luck oil in there as well. Okay, and what's this? A shredded money. This is real money, and like I said, as I work this box, it will probably sit for quite a while. I will put coins in there. To me, it's like feeding the box. I'll also putting a magnet in there and probably some magnetic sand. Lodestones is another good thing. You could put lodestones in and then feed the lodestones with the magnetic sand. Where are we? Sorry. So use whatever you've got. So I've used 5-finger grass. I've used, what have I used? 5-finger grass. Some attract money oil. Some communication oil. Let me see. I have an oil for prosperity. I think it's this one. Prosperity oil. Again, if you have different oils, use them. At the end of the day, don't rush out and buy what I have. Just, use what you have. That's the important part of it. So I'm going to put a bit of wall of fire for protection against finances. Alrighty, and let me see. So yeah, I have some basil in there. I have some, what you call them, bay leaves. I find bay leaves in themselves to be quite a magical item. You can actually write on the leaf the amount of money you want and then burn the little leaf. I've done that before. I have an old video of that. I maybe update it soon. Let me see. I think I've got everything that I need. I've got just a mixture of bits and pieces that bring about change and luck. There's no need to put too much in. At the end of the day, we're working the seals, and I'm going to put a little dice in for games of chance, just in case he does play a game of chance at the end of the day. Why not? And it will just be there for luck. I have a spell coming up very soon, specifically for games of chance, like a lucky hand working. So that's on the way, and I'm going to be working this tonight for quite a while. I'm going to be burning a green candle on that. You could use gold for success, but I'm going to be using a green candle, and I'll be burning that candle a notch per night, just as I sit and push a few intentions. It's really just about affirming that the client has the 2000. He's doing well, he's promoted and stuff. And I do that for about 10-15 minutes. And I do that for whatever, each client that I have on my books. And it takes up all my night. And people wonder why it takes me so long to get videos out. That's your answer. I'm very, 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 very busy. So, yeah. Like I said, what I'm going to do is, I think I'll put the seal of clonic in there, and I will pop a lid on this. Jupiter on top. I'll put bone seal underneath that, and I'll get a little candle holder. I'll put a green candle on that. I need to locate one first of all, and I'll burn if it's a bigger candle, I'll probably use a chime. I'll burn the whole thing down. But if it's one of those taper candles, I burn a notch of it each night. And once I'm finished with the whole working, I bury that under a tree. But at the end of the day, if you can't bury it under a tree, just put it somewhere where it's you could keep it. You don't even have to dispose of it. At the end of the day, it's always generating energy. Especially if you're putting money in it, constantly. So you don't really need, like I said, to bury it or deploy it. At the end of the day, you could keep it just active, and it will always be generating, in my opinion. You could change up your petitions. At the end of the day, you don't have to keep it, as one. You can change the petitions as things start to change in your life, kind of thing. So I hope this all makes sense. One moment. Okay. Yeah, I think you're going to have, I don't know the timelines on this. Magic, in my opinion, magic doesn't have timelines. I have a feeling there's going to be a decision about a contract coming up. There's the letter beside the, oh come on, brain work, beside the crossroads. So the crossroads is all about a decision, and that letter is about a contract. And in the middle, there's going to be some sort of travel. The ship tells me that. And then over here, we've got the ring. And the ring, again, that can mean a contract, that can mean documents. However, I have the child beside it, which makes me think that you need to give the whole thing a bit of thought and not be too naive. Don't sign something if you don't think it's worth it. I think it's basically warning you to just be careful with what you sign and make sure it's what you want. Don't be taking on a ton of extra work for very little money. You want it to be, like you've basically said, you want the raise, but you don't want to be overwhelmed with work, if you know what I mean. You have to be, do you know what I mean? You don't want them to take advantage of you, and that's just a little warning there. But I think there'll be some sort of travel involved, maybe a training course, but I'm thinking something a bit more long term. Interesting. I just drew a few oracle cards just to finish up, and my first card out is greed. That's not pointing towards you. I think that's basically tying in with the Lenormand cards, saying that don't let them take advantage of you. Don't let them, take too much out of you. The Master, that would be some sort of boss at work. So there's maybe someone there that you're not too fussed on. So that person, just watch out for that person. So there's going to be communication. And vulnerable. Again, that's tying in with the last reading. This is how I cross-reference things by doing two different styled readings, if you know what I mean. And I noticed that the cards, there's like a sequence, and vulnerable and the child card, they'd be quite similar. That card there would warn me that don't be naive going into a situation. There's a brown-haired woman involved, and she will bring about change. And then you've got happiness, and this card, reconciliation, I do not know what that has to do with, but that card popped up at the end. So I leave that one to you, for you to decipher. I really don't know what that means, but I'll let you figure that out, and maybe in time it will figure itself out. houseofmagick@gmail.com. I have a lot of videos on the way, so please like, share, subscribe if you want, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon.